We hear questions like these all the time. Can TSR injury law help me if I'm hurt by a defective product? Yes. How about by a dog bite? Yeah. If you've been injured, it's TSR time. Call us today for a free consultation at 612-TSR time.
It's the Go Gopher podcast with Mike Grimm, episode number 14. I'm Mike Grimm, voice of the Golden Gophers, and welcome back. The University of Minnesota women's gymnastics team is qualified for the NCAA championships next week. It goes from April 14th through 16th in Fort Worth, Texas, leaving them as one of the final 8 teams in the country vying for the national championship. The Golden Gophers clinched the bid to the championship round after claiming second place in last weekend's regional at Oklahoma. Joining me on the Go Gopher podcast today will be head coach Jenny Hansen, and also joining me will be the top Gopher gymnast, Lexy Ramler. Our Go Gopher podcast is presented by alumni-owned Sunbelt Business Advisors, also True North Mergers and Acquisitions. If you're a business founder planning to exit your business, start by contacting Sunbelt Business Advisors and True North Mergers and Acquisitions. Sunbelt serves more businesses up to $5 million in revenue than anyone, and True North M&A serves companies with revenues up to $150 million. You can get a confidential, no-cost, no-obligation business valuation started today. Make the most of your life's work. Trust me, visit sunbeltminnesota.com or tnma.com today. Our podcast is also sponsored by State Farm agent Tony Hoagland at ChamplinInsurance.com. Our thanks to Tony. We invite you to subscribe to the podcast. You can go back and listen to all of our Go Gopher podcasts. Last week, for example, we talked Gopher men's hockey with the radio voices of Gopher hockey, Wally Shaver and Frank Mazzacco. When we come back today, we have a great conversation for you. Please have a listen. Lots of great stories from Jenny Hansen and Lexy Ramler. Minnesota women's gymnastics. First, though, a word from Tony.
Hey, Gopher fans. This is your State Farm agent, Tony Hoagland. We are super excited to be part of the new Mike Grimm Show on Talk North. For the year of 2022, we will be donating $10 to the University of Minnesota Children's Masonics Hospital for everyone that calls our office or checks in with us online and mentions that they heard about us on Talk North and the Mike Grimm Show. We are really excited again that Mike came on board with Talk North. You can reach us at 763-421-4900. You can find us on the web at ChamplinInsurance.com. Again, 763-421-4900, or find us on the web at ChamplinInsurance.com. Roll the boat, Sky Yuma, go Gophers.
Welcome to episode 14. It's the Go Gopher podcast with Mike Grimm, and we are thrilled to be talking women's gymnastics here. With us is Jenny Hansen, the head coach of the Golden Gophers, and the star gymnast on the team, Lexy Ramler, who has like 1 million weekly honors in the Big Ten and Big Ten Gymnast of the Year and all kinds of things. Lexy, we'll say hi to you first. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Exciting times, right? No doubt about it. You think about you just won the regionals, and now next week it's off to the NCAAs. I just want to ask you first just what the emotion is like knowing that it's your second straight year getting into the championship round.
I think that's super exciting, and I think the most exciting factor is that we're going as a team for the second year in a row. Just on floor, just finding out that we're going as a team was just so exciting, and if you check out those videos, you can absolutely see it.
Yeah, you guys were certainly excited. Coach Hansen, will ask you too, just a general question, just what the year's been like, and top it off here. And I know there's still you'd like to see work to be done here this next weekend, but just how exciting this season's been.
It's been wonderful. I mean, it really has kind of been a record-breaking season for us. I mean, I think we've broke our school record 3 different times this year, maybe 4 times, quite a few times, right. And on several events. And it's everything that we really hoped it would be. We knew coming into this year that we had the potential to be better than we were last year, and we're delivering, and so that's really exciting to see your team reach its potential. That's really what it's all about. So it's been a really fun year so far, and we can't wait for next weekend.
Yeah, and we'll get into that certainly, but I want to go back to 2 years ago. In fact, Lexy and I were talking just briefly about it before we started the recording, that you guys had built up such a nice following. You had sold out the Oklahoma meet, and like everything, the trapdoor fell out because of the pandemic, and so no senior day, no sellout, a chance to advance maybe then to the championship round, but now to come all this time later and build and have a sellout this year and have good crowds each one of your home meets. I mean, kind of take us through the emotions from I guess, what is that? It seems like 10 years ago, but I guess it would be two years ago. But it's been a long 2 years, I would guess, to get to where you're going to be here this coming weekend.
Yeah, there's no question. We do feel like that team was capable of qualifying to the national championships that year. So it was heartbreak. I mean, there's no question. Everybody felt that heartbreak. And, to see that season just kind of not disappear, but, not being able to finish it was really tough. But I think our team just really, from the moment we realized, okay, let's control what we can control, they came in with a great attitude. As soon as we could start training again, they were so excited and motivated and thankful and grateful for the opportunity. And I think we just really focused on what we could control that whole process and loving gymnastics again and being grateful that we get to be together and train together. And it just kind of went from there. I think we just took it one day at a time and was just grateful for that and really took advantage of just trying to get better, and that's something we talk about with the team every day is like, let's just leave here a little better than we walked in, and we will see our potential. We will see the growth. And I think, what we're seeing now is very evident. I don't think we really stopped, to be honest, after that time period, after that season got shut down. I think we just started thinking, okay, well, let's start our path. Let's see how we can continue to be better. So we'll reach that goal whenever we get that chance.
Then you come back, last year, and there's still limits in terms of, I think there were meets that you didn't have any fans just because of the pandemic. And so there's a barrier to kind of get through to recapture, right, the imagination of the fan base and the excitement that was there. And then it was one of those deals that when the floodgates kind of opened, when the society kind of reopened, right? And all of a sudden you're getting great crowds and people are talking about it. And there was some electricity at the Maturi Pavilion many times.
Oh, no doubt. And I think that was what was so exciting is going into this year, we were thrilled that these guys decided to come back, but I was so happy for the fans because they get to see them one more time.
Right.
Last year they didn't get that chance. They could see them on TV and so forth, but now they got to actually see them in person. And I think our fan base was just so thrilled about that. And with, like you mentioned, we had record-breaking season ticket sales, record-breaking meets. I think our fans were just waiting for that opportunity to see our athletes compete again, and they didn't want to miss out. And so it was so wonderful. And I'm sure Lexy can speak to that. Just the energy at the PAV was, it was so much fun.
Yeah,
it was
Lexy,
so much fun.
I'll ask Lexy about that. What was it like to be able to get back? First of all, just to come back, you had, the extra year. You went through so much. So in a sense, you earned that year too, right? It wasn't just a gift because there was stuff you guys had to go through to get back to that. But then to be able to experience that energy in front of fans, you and your teammates, you threw several 10s out there. I'm sure those were exciting. Kind of take us through that part of it for you.
Yeah, having fans back just means so much. You're able to just show how much you enjoy the sport in your performance. And when you're performing, like when I'm on the floor, I can see that excitement in people's faces and their eyes. And I think that just means so much. It just adds a whole new level to competing that we absolutely missed during that 1 year.
And how much energy do you get? How much do you feed on? I would think for sure floor exercise, right? When the crowd gets into it and the music's going, and that can, I'm guessing the adrenaline's crazy. I don't know. I've never. Yes. Trust me, you don't want to see me try to floor exercise, but I would guess that it's an amazing feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. You absolutely just feed off of it. People can definitely look at it as pressure, performing in front of fans. But I think our team definitely focuses on just feeding into that and so much energy that we get to use when we go out and perform. And
you obviously have been good at everything. You win the all around, it seems, every week and different things like that. Where did take me all the way back? I'm always fascinated by the journey that athletes get to take. How early was it that you, one, started in gymnastics, and two, it kind of became apparent that you might have some skill that would take you to a level that maybe some others in your age group weren't going to be able to attain?
Oh, that's way back. I started gymnastics when I was about 3 or 4, and honestly, I was just kind of the toddler that climbed on everything. And my mom was like, "All right, here's a safer place. Just go in there." And so that's where I really started. I tried some other sports, and I was just like, no. My mom's like, "Okay," and then from there, I just took the next thing, and I was just excited. What can I learn next? And so I really, looking back, it was really just so exciting and so fun for me. And I would say kind of just as I continued to excel, then I did shoot for the Olympics. And so kind of I missed trials by 1 spot. But, it was just kind of like that constant climb. Of just what's next, and then from there, that's where I am today. I'm here.
Yeah, and obviously college gymnastics became a reality. When did that start sinking into that? Okay, I'm going to be able to perform past club and past high school and what have you. And how did that recruiting process go that you ended up here at the university?
Yes, so I was actually recruited by Minnesota first. And that was in 7th grade. So I don't know if that was a factor, but and I chose Minnesota absolutely just because I'm from Minnesota. My family is from here and stay close to them, and so it's kind of an easy choice from there. But I would say that was definitely kind of like the first time that I was like, oh, okay, like college. Yep, it's kind of like yep, sure. I'm gonna go there. But I didn't really realize how recruitable I was at that point until kind of I got all those different calls.
Well, you think about 7th, that's a long time ago now, right?
Yes,
we're all getting older, but 7th grade is a while ago for,
yes.
For a 5th-year senior. Jenny, do you remember watching Lexy and when did it kind of hit you that, okay, this is someone we really got to aggressively pursue to be a Golden Gopher?
Yeah, she was kind of a standout even back then. I'm trying to remember, did you, was that when you won JOs, was 7th grade? Or was that? We remember watching her when she was little, and she stood out. She had the toe point, the execution that other kids her age did not have, and oftentimes never get to that level. And so just watching her do gymnastics, you were like, okay, she is special. She is special. Let's do what we can to keep this kid in Minnesota. And, we've been following her ever since. I don't know how many times we had much practices and watched her at meets, and we're just hoping that she would decide to stay home, And I still remember the day when she committed and where we took pictures and everything else, because that was a big day for our program. And her family was here, and we did that, and that was a really special day. So, and we just knew that she was going to be something special here, that she could really turn a program, take us to the next level, and put herself on the map, put our program on the map, and help us become a school that is known for gymnastics, And so that's been really great for her, for us, and anybody that's been a part of our program during her time here.
Yeah, and I'll ask Lexy about that process, and I'm sure other schools started to come in, and you had a unique situation, right? And share about how you want, but St. Michael's your hometown, but you spent a lot of time at Winona, right? You went to
yes.
high school there. How did that all work out? I'm guessing there were a few miles put on the car.
There was a lot
and was
of miles.
Gymnastics the root of that whole process?
Yes. So there was kind of a time where I was searching for a gym to kind of be able to take me to that next level into kind of the elite process, and I ended up finding my coach, Rob Murray, and we really just clicked at a camp. And then from there, it was kind of like, all right, yep. My family and I decided that was the best move for our family. So my mom and I drove down there to Winona during the week for school and gymnastics, and we drive back home on weekends. So I got really good at not getting car sick and riding in the car. But it was definitely such a valuable experience for me. I think I learned so much through just, understanding the value of family through that whole process, learning how to honestly just grow up fast. Yeah. And so it was throughout all my years, it's, academics had to be good. Otherwise, you will not be going to gymnastics, and that was not an option. So I was like, all right, I'm going to be a good student as well.
Right.
And so there's just so many different things that experience taught me that definitely melded me into who I am today.
Yeah, and I think people, and this is true, right, for a lot of athletes, but the commitment that you put into it, you think about the time on the road, you think about fighting through, I'm sure, nagging injuries or bumps and bruises, and how many hours you spend in the gym working on routine routines and all that stuff. And now here you are, with this culmination coming up this weekend. I mean, it's a general question, but that's a lot of work. And now it here it is. I mean, do you take a moment to kind of look back on that whole process?
I feel like you have to, of just like seeing all the things that you look back. And, I was even just talking to my coach the other day, or my Rob the other day, and he was just, like, look at all these things that you've learned. Like you can get anything thrown at you and you've been able to handle it. And it's just, you have to kind of pause and being like, yes, like I am capable, like I have so much experience.
Yeah.
And so I really hope that all athletes take that time to really reflect and to see how much they've learned. And I think that then they're just like, wow, like I have so much experience. Like
Right.
I am able to tackle this next obstacle and kind of different aspects like that.
And when the obstacles come, was there ever a time over that where you questioned, like, man, this is a lot? Or was it never never an issue? Like, yeah, I'm shooting for what we're getting to.
There was definitely some times where I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. And my dad just kind of told me, just, stick in it for a few more weeks. And then if you're not into it, then we'll have another conversation. But it kind of taught me of, even if things get hard, you don't just stop and quit.
Yeah.
It's, push it out for a little bit longer and then we can reevaluate. And absolutely, I got to the end of those weeks, and I was like, yeah, no, I still love it. Like, I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah, well, and that's great, right? I mean, those are the beautiful life lessons that athletics can teach, for sure. Jenny, when you look at the work that she's put in, and gymnastics is a little unique. You and I have talked about this on the road trips, and that I guess basketball's a little that way. There's AAU, and then there's high school, and it's the same in gymnastics. Somewhere there's club, and then there's high school. Some states don't even have high school gymnastics, and so it makes it, I suppose, in your world, challenging at times to find the right student athletes and the fit and all of that. So when you saw her, the fit was there. You knew that you were getting the right kind of person for your team.
Yeah, absolutely. When we got a chance to see Lexy not only compete, but see the way she practiced and the way she interacted with her coaches, you just knew that this was someone that would excel in our program. And Rob did a great job with Lexy, and they created just a really positive environment for her to train in. And, we feel like we have a similar environment, and so we're like, okay, this is someone that we don't have to get on, we don't have to yell at, we don't have to push, because she's so internally driven, and we can just guide, and that was something that we felt like we could do really well with Lexy. Is like, okay, we don't have to do anything major, we're going to make some tweaks. She continues to do this, in that when she looks at you for a correction, she's looking you right in the eye and taking it all in, which is a wonderful quality. Not everybody does that these days, but she is always looking to say, how can I get better? And is always super receptive to feedback, and just that yearning is, I still want to grow. I still want to get better. And, that's exactly what we're looking for in the athletes that we recruit, because we are a program that doesn't typically get the Olympians and national team members. So we are trying to find athletes that want to keep getting better. And that's how we're at the national championships.
Yeah.
We've got athletes that are talented and have great bases, but they're just yearning to keep striving and get better. And that's what's made, I feel like, our program so strong, is we just have a gym full of athletes like that, and it makes it really fun as a coach.
The state of Minnesota, and we talked a little bit about this in regard to there's a big club scene, which is important, right? I mean, because hey, let's face it, some of the states don't have high school, some do. How do you weave your way through, like, I'm going to go watch club, I'm going to go watch a high school meet, I'm going to watch a state championship, and find the athletes that are going to be fits here?
Typically, we're really looking heavily in the clubs. Mm-hmm. That's really where we're spending most of our time and energy in. We have had some high school athletes that have come to us and done amazing, which is really fun to have them join our programs. But we usually are just in those clubs, and we're really fortunate that the state of Minnesota has so many great clubs. And, you look at our roster, and we're almost half Minnesota athletes. So we love to be able to keep those athletes here. And there's just so many good programs in the state of Minnesota that run similarly to the way we do. And so those athletes really tend to thrive in our program, just the positive energy, kids that love what they do. They're typically not overtrained. There's a lot of states throughout the country where the athletes are training 40 hours a week, 30, 40 hours. And we get athletes coming in still yearning and hungry to do gymnastics and want to be able to build something something. So we feel really grateful for the gymnastics community here in Minnesota, in our region, and that's typically where most of our athletes are from.
And obviously, anyone who watched the Olympics here this past summer saw 2 Minnesotans on the Olympic team, including the Suni Lee who won the gold medal in the all-around, right?
The all-around,
and
yes.
so obviously those clubs are also there. And then I think you mentioned before we started taping that this weekend there's 8 teams, and there's we think 15 or more Minnesotans amongst that group of 8 teams.
Yeah, I think so. I think we can do a little deep dive and figure that out. But yeah, Minnesota is really represented well here at these championships amongst all of almost every team has at least one Minnesota athlete on it. Obviously, we have the majority, but there's Minnesota kids scattered throughout here that will be at the championships. So Minnesota really is kind of a hotbed for gymnastics.
So gymnastics is like a lot of sports. You have more roster spots than full scholarships, and you can break them up and everything. So what is the challenge when you have a local scene as strong as it is? Because I'm sure people are like, man, they're going to watch this weekend and say, oh, there's a really good gymnast at Utah. Why is not she a Gopher? Or Suni Lee's at Auburn.
Yeah.
So take me through the challenges of trying to figure out to assemble a roster, particularly when you have a really good club scene in your home state.
Yeah, well, I think we have so many great athletes, not just good athletes in Minnesota, but great athletes,
Right.
Obviously, with 2 making the Olympic team just last summer. And, we're all striving for those same athletes. And some of them are looking to stay home. Some of them want a different experience. And, we're going to go after everybody that we can. But, you're not going to get everybody. We know that. But we'll keep trying to get those top athletes to come to Minnesota. But I think we've been able to fill in because we've got 22 athletes on the team and only 12 scholarships. We have a great number of walk-ons on our team that are so important to us and have really filled in some areas that have been instrumental in our progress and our momentum. So we feel really grateful for those athletes willing to take a chance and saying, I might not have a scholarship, but I want to be a part of this program and I want to stay home. And they trust us, and we work with them and we continue to build them. So it's been wonderful to have the support of the community and have so many different clubs represented on our team.
You have a young lady who I guess you'd call it her breakout year, Maya Hooten, who's from Minnesota.
Yeah.
What has she meant to this season and the success you guys have had?
She's been amazing. She really has. Her consistency has kind of been off the charts, and she's just someone that you can't take your eyes off when you watch her. Whether it's her reactions that she has, because she will show you exactly the way she feels, and it's just contagious when you watch her. She is just so fun to watch, and she's really stepped up as a leader for us this year. I mean, she's continuing to see the role that she has and seeing the influence that she has. And I think that's important because we're going to count on her here in the future. But I'm really glad that she's been able to have such great leaders to see and continue to train alongside so that she can take that next step when we don't have them anymore. But she's really been pretty amazing for us on those 3 events that she's been competing.
Anna Loper, you got from South Carolina. She
Yes.
is another one of the 5th years and has had just a wonderful career. Take me back all the way. How did you guys get hooked up, and how did she end up in maroon and gold?
Well, she was kind of a diamond in the rough, Anna was. Not many people had known about her, to be honest. She was from a very small club, and we just saw incredible potential with her. I mean, what she does still today, but she makes things look really easy, And so when we saw her, we're like, okay, this kid could be something special. And not many people knew about her yet, and that was back in the day when early recruiting was going really quickly, and she was someone that came on the radar a little bit later, and we weren't in a hurry, and we got her on campus, and she just fit really, really well. And I know Lexy feels very glad that they came in together in the same class, being such good friends that they are. And but yeah, we feel like we just were able to spot someone early in the process that we just saw great potential in, and she was another person that just had great potential, and she didn't realize how good she could be. I think she knows that now, I hope. But I think, she just became a part of our program and our culture and just really thrived. And it's been so fun to see her excel the way she has been.
Lexy, let's ask you about Anna, and you guys have shared these same 5 years together. What she meant to you, just to have her as a teammate and watch that potential that Coach talked about, really get to be realized as the years has gone on, the years over the course of the 5 years.
Yeah, so much. I think we have so many memories throughout these years. And freshman year kind of coming in, we feel like we know each other forever kind of thing. And that's just really kind of built our bond, I think, throughout these years. And to finally see her really find her confidence and find her groove, it's been so cool because you just see the potential, and to see her actually living that is awesome.
So you guys made the championship round last year and had a chance to come back, but also could have just said, heck, this has been a long, hard work. And maybe you want to go on with life. Some athletes do decide to do that. You guys decided to come back. You were telling me before it was not a real hard decision. You guys had kind of been discussing it, and when the opportunity was there, you guys were ready to take it.
Yes, I think first we were thinking, making sure that this made sense academically, and it did. And then we were like, all right, yeah, if you come back, I'll come back. And we're like, yeah, sounds like a deal. So then we came back.
and then the part is that just coming back doesn't guarantee anything because there are so many good teams out there.
Yes.
Obviously, the goal is to get back to where you guys got back to. But did you learn some lessons from that, too, over the course of the year that, hey, just because we made it last year and we're back doesn't, it's kind of a what have you done for me lately because there's a scoreboard there, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Just because you did all those work in the past years doesn't mean that you get your, ticket punched to nationals just like that. And so it shows that every, gymnastics is whoever hits on that day. And that's what we're competing against. And yeah, it's a lot of hard work goes into every single performance for sure.
How much satisfaction, though, is it now knowing that you did punch that ticket and all that work and that a little bit of a gamble, I suppose, and coming back because you don't know. I mean, even if you don't make it, you're going to enjoy time around people you like. But to really get the payoff here, to get one more chance, how rewarding is that feeling?
It's so rewarding. I also think, too, knowing that we were coming back, we had such a strong upperclassmen kind of base. And, not a lot of people left from the lineup. And so we felt really good going into this season, I would say. And so to finally be able to go again with the team is so rewarding. And we're so excited for sure.
Coach, did you have any doubt that those two would be back for this season?
No, we had talked about it as soon as that was offered as an option. We're like, okay, how do we make this work? We were really trying to brainstorm. And they were, these are two young women that they really love gymnastics, and I think they're so grateful for the opportunity to keep doing it. I thought, the moment that this became an option, they were really heavily like, yes, this is something I really would like to do. So as soon as we found out and we started the process, we felt like this could really happen for us. So it's been pretty great.
Yeah, and because there are some, right, I suppose as we mentioned earlier, there are some things you have to figure out, class schedule, roster size, scholarship situations, and all of that. You don't have to get into great detail, but it's not as simple, I suppose, as, oh, you're back, no problem.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's exactly it. We had to think of all of those things when they were doing it. I know Lexy's, had to apply and get into Carlson management for her master's degree. Luckily, Anna was already in her master's degree, so she's going to finish that here this year. But yeah, class schedules and scholarship limits and everything else. So there was a lot that goes into all those logistics of it, but we were really glad we could make it work.
Yeah, is Anna in healthcare? What I forget now, because I remember interviewing her, and she was doing some stuff with the coronavirus in terms of doing some research and different things with maybe a hospital. I forget.
Yeah, she's still working for MDH.
Yeah.
It's an internship that she's been doing for the last year and a half. She's in the School of Public Health and will be graduating with her master's here in May. But she's looking to possibly work for the CDC after she graduates. And so just this has worked out very well, and she's just has such a strong interest in that field. So, this has been a great experience all around.
And Lexy, let's talk about your class schedule, because sometimes you come back for a year and maybe you just take a light schedule to go through it. What is your schedule like? Are you how's it looking for you?
I decided not to take a light year. So yes, I definitely took a lot of credits going into this year and potentially being able to graduate early, looking, because it's a 2-year program. But it's definitely a different experience than undergrad. I would say definitely a lot more, cohort and building those relationships in business. So it's been a very awesome experience for sure.
Yeah, and it's got to be rewarding for you, Coach, to see your athletes come in as young women, as freshmen, and then do what these two and so many others have done.
Yeah, I mean, I just think they are set up so well for success. I just think about that. And, Anna's leaving here with an undergrad and a master's, and she's going to go get a great job. And, and Lexy too. I know she's got a little more schooling when she leaves, but how incredible to be able to get this fantastic education and all this experience. And they're going to go do amazing things once they graduate, I have no doubt. And part of a long line of Gopher athletes that are making huge differences in the community and doing wonderful things. So, but yeah, I think this is just to have this extra year and get a little bit more experience, a little bit more education that will help take them into their future is pretty remarkable.
We haven't talked specifically yet about the finals in Fort Worth, which are April 14th through the 16th, but we're on this topic of these guys. So these two are going to graduate and leave some big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
First time in school history, back-to-back appearances. So as you go out to try to fill those shoes, how has that part of it, and just even the stories we just talk about, you can tell their two stories to maybe help that recruiting process. Have you noticed a difference in terms of feedback you get from the young ladies you're now out trying to recruit to take these spots?
Absolutely. I think they see what's being done and they want to be a part of that. And they want to continue that. And I think that's something that's special is in the past we tried to I don't want to say convince, but tell them that, hey, you can help build us there, and you can help that. But we weren't there yet, so you were trying to convince somebody that, hey, this is where we believe we should be, but they hadn't seen it. And now they've seen it and they go, okay, yep. We know this is possible and we want to be a part of that. And then even more, now we don't want to just get to the national championships. We want to be day 2. We want to win a national championship. So that certainly changes the narrative, knowing that we've done it. I think that certainly is really exciting for recruits. I know it's certainly helping us trying to attract that top talent to come to us. But yeah, you see it in front of you, that changes everything. You
mentioned as you grow the program, and this program's been on pretty solid footing back to Meg and what she did, and then you took over. What have you learned as a coach to help build the program, maybe even drawing back all the time when you were an athlete as well?
Yeah, it's amazing. I've been here over 20 years already, which is kind of crazy to think. But there's a lot of similarities from when I was here, but then there's a lot that we've grown and changed. And I think we feel really fortunate in that our staff, we've been together for 8 years, which is kind of unheard of in the world of college coaching. So I think it's allowed us to build something really special together. And we all have very different backgrounds and very different personalities and talents. So I think that's been really great for our program to be able to tap off of that and use each other's knowledge and what our strengths are and grow the program in ways that we feel like are really helpful moving forward. So, but yeah, we've drawing back on our past experiences, we certainly have very different ones, but I think it's helped us create the program that we feel really good about today.
Speaking of past experiences, so we're kind of in the in-between weekend here. Last week, the regionals, this coming week, the kind of the championship. It's a couple of rounds. We'll talk about the format in a minute, but let's go back to last weekend. You guys pretty well dominated day 1, got through, and then day 2, as you would guess, it's a tighter fight. So it was a tight fight. So take us through your emotions on that day 2 to clinch.
Yeah, day 2, for some reason, I was very calm. I was more nervous about day 1, which I think is actually very normal for the regionals. Is a stressful competition in general because everyone wants to just keep making it through, even though you know that we're totally capable of doing it. You're still just a little bit on edge, and so having the performance we did day 1 was huge for us, and I think that just gave us so much confidence going into day 2. Where I know for myself, and I would say the athletes too, I just feel like they looked. I made the comment that, when we were in our huddle, I said, we look like we own this place, guys, because they just looked confident. They just looked like they totally believed in themselves. Obviously, we had just been there, 2 days ago. We were familiar with everything. They just had this feeling about them on that day that I'm like, okay, this is going to be a great day. Like,
Yeah.
I noticed that kind of just the moment we walked in, and I personally just had really great confidence in what we were going to do. And I know we were down going into that last event, but floor's an event we shine on, and we just did exactly what we do every time we compete floor, and we knew that was going to be enough to kind of move us into that next round.
What was the emotion like when you did see the scores posted and okay, we're on?
Yeah, it was exciting. I mean, the girls were screaming, hugging, cheering. It was just that realization, all right, we did it. We made it, everything that we've been working so hard for. And, there just isn't much else you can compare it to. Is that moment you find out you're moving on is just really special.
Yeah, and you've done that in the past too, even like league championships, right? Where you see okay, bang, we just did it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's got to be an awesome feel. It's like, I suppose, in basketball, you hit a buzzer beater to win the conference or something,
Yeah.
right? I mean, it's awesome.
It's awesome, yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to describe, but it is pretty incredible.
So, Lexy, let's talk with you. We had talked before we came on the podcast here that you also, it seemed, maybe were calm as you could be, because you guys all felt comfortable with that floor exercise routine to score enough to get to where you needed to be. So kind of take me through your emotions as you and your teammates were getting ready for that.
Yeah, I think going into, after beam and seeing that we're down just a little bit, but we were like, we got this. I'd say there's just so much confidence going into that event, so much excitement that we're be able to perform that event, and then we were ending on that event. Floor is always just a fun one, so we were really just excited to go out and perform.
And you had, I suppose, the same emotion when you saw the scores posted and then you figured out that, okay,
yes,
away we go?
Yeah, absolutely. I think throughout, just after I finished my routine, I was just able to cheer, and I was just wanting it so bad. But knowing that I already went, I was like,
there is some relief to that, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There's relief because I'm like, I'm done. But I'm like, I want it so bad.
Yeah.
And I think that's how everybody felt. And to finally just see it when Minnesota got clicked above, it was like, we did it.
Yeah.
We punched our ticket and let's go.
Yeah.
And so, let's just enjoy this moment of making it. But, we're not done yet. So.
Yeah, and now, as we mentioned, we're in that kind of in-between week. What has that been like? Obviously, it's back to the gym, continue to work, and but it probably feels like it's a month, not a week or two in between, right?
A little. I mean, yeah, I haven't quite decided yet.
Or is it good to have maybe a week off and
it is
refresh?
Nice. Yeah, I'd say just to get that recovery for the body and mentally as well. But, we're also really excited to get there. So we were having this kind of like push and pull situation of, coming off of a long season. But we're just so excited to be able to go to nationals as a team is the biggest thing.
Fort Worth, Texas, Coach, take us through the format, because I know I would mess it up trying to explain it. So I'll just let you do that. So when fans are watching, they kind of know what to watch for.
Yeah, so there's 2 semifinal rounds on Thursday. We're in the first session that starts at noon, and we will be along with Oklahoma, Utah, and Alabama. And the top 2 teams are going to move to the finals on Saturday from each session. So like I said, we're in the first session at noon on Thursday. There's another session starting at 5. And in that session is Florida, Michigan, Auburn, and Missouri. So top 2 from each session are going to move to the finals on Saturday, and from there you'll crown a national champion.
Wow. And so what do you think? I mean, is it a wide open field? Are there favorites? I mean, handicap it for me if you would.
Yeah. Well, we've been fortunate enough where we've been able to compete against some of these teams already this year. I think it's anybody's game. Anybody has the chance to move on. Everyone just has to do their job, and I think if everybody does their job, it's going to be really tight. And so I'm really excited for our opportunity. I think we match up really well with the teams that we're competing with. Yeah, I think there's always a room for surprises.
Is there, what is the emotion? Do you feel pressure? Is there no pressure? Because, I mean, I'm sure people are thinking Oklahoma or, I think they're number one, right? Like,
yeah.
Okay, they're the favorite. So what is the emotion as a coach? And then, Lexy, I'll ask what it is as an athlete, too, heading into this.
Yeah, I don't think we have a lot of pressure going in. I think, we're probably looked at as a little more of the underdog in our session, which is okay. I think we like that role. So I think we're ready to surprise some people, and just let them know that we're going to be right on their heels. So they better be ready for us.
Lexy, how about as an athlete going in? What is the focus to be clutch when you have to be clutch, but not feel the pressure to be clutch?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think, when we saw these, how this is like laying out for nationals, it's possible,
Mm-hmm.
And so I think just in that belief of knowing that, anything can happen is super exciting. And I don't think our team feels a lot of pressure into it. You know, we don't have to move on kind of thing. This is our second time going. So it's not even the first time of just like, oh my gosh, like this is the first time going to nationals too. We were here last year. So, you know, we know the format, we know how it goes. And so I think it's just more excitement just to see, you know, how far can we go?
Yeah, it's so exciting. And it's exciting for women's gymnastics too, right? Coach, you were saying this is on ABC TV, second time now. So, and fans will be back. It was limited again last year. So this is kind of an exciting time just in the growth of the sport. Because every 4 years, everyone talks about gymnastics. And then sometimes, you know, it kind of gets sometimes caught, you know, in the middle where there's not a lot. So coming off the Olympic year, ABC TV, I mean, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, gymnastics has just kind of erupted, we feel like, for the college gymnastics world. Just the amount of attention we're getting right now, having all of these Olympians compete in college gymnastics is huge for our sport. And, you know, we're seeing tremendous attendance at regular season competitions and championship competitions. And just what we're seeing on TV has been pretty incredible as well. A lot of meets are televised live these days. And for the fans to be able to see that and witness it is pretty incredible. And the parity in our sport is at a level that we've never been before, you know, and which I think makes it super exciting. You know, those top powerhouses are not always going through. New teams are emerging. And there's new athletes that everyone's kind of falling in love with right now. So it's a really exciting time for college gymnastics.
Yeah, there's just more good performers, right? Yeah. Each generation, because they watch, like there's probably a 7-year-old that has been at the pavilion watching Lexy Ramler, who in, 10 years is going to commit to you and be the next Lexy Ramler or whoever else. You know, you've had a lot of good athletes here, but it's just a continual growth, it seems.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think the more these young athletes get to witness and see them in person, the more it inspires them, and they just have great role models to look up to. But yeah, I think the popularity of our sport is at a level we haven't seen before.
Lexy, what's that like too when you're, let's say here, just where we're taping, just down the hallway or across campus, I guess it would be from the Pav, where there are young girls and they want selfies or they want autographs or whatever else. I mean, that's got to be kind of cool knowing that they're there to watch you and your teammates and maybe they want to be in your shoes someday.
Yeah, it's so cool. I love just inspiring young athletes, young gymnasts, and it's definitely one of my favorite things about competing at home, being a part of Minnesota. But it's, I also have people my age that come up to me and they're like, oh, you're so cool. I'm like, oh, thanks. So it's like, it's not even just the young athletes. It's just like so cool to be so known and just to see how much impact I'm able to make across the board. Yeah,
that's so cool. And then as the sport grows, and I do think people find too that if they go and see it, because it is, one, athletes are doing incredible things. I mean, some of the moves and different things you guys do is incredible, but two, there's so much entertainment value that once somebody goes, they're hooked, right? I mean, yeah. They're season ticket holders now.
Yes, absolutely. I've had so many classmates kind of go and they're like, wow, that was like really fun. Yeah. Like, when was the next one? I'm like, yeah, like it is, so it's just got to get them to that first meet. And there's just so much excitement. It's just so much different than other athletic events.
Yeah. Well, it's an important week coming up. Good luck. It's been fun watching, and it'd be so awesome to watch you guys perform. Because at the end of the day, if you perform as best as you can, no matter what, the outcome is, then that's all you can do, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Coach, thank you as well. We appreciate it. It's been fun watching, and one more weekend for you.
Yeah, thanks so much. Really appreciate you having us on.
My thanks to Gopher women's gymnastics coach Jenny Hansen and Gopher gymnast Lexy Ramler. Really a fun and informative conversation. And best of luck to the Gophers in next weekend's NCAA championships. The Go Gopher podcast is presented by Sunbelt Business Advisors and True North Mergers and Acquisitions. If you're buying or selling a business, visit sunbeltminnesota.com or tnma.com today. We're also sponsored by State Farm agent Tony Hoagland. Brandon Morton is our producer and technical expert. And again, I'd invite you to listen to past podcasts, and please be sure to click the subscribe button on the Go Gopher podcast right now. It's absolutely free to subscribe and to listen at any time. We'll talk again next week.